Amanda, and welcome back to Daily Dose of. Today I'm going to be doing my January favorites because January is over and I wanted to share my favorites. First up on the list is another CW show. It's called Riverdale. This I started actually back in December and it went on like a holiday hiatus and then it came back in January, so then I've just been kind of consistently watching it. This one is kind of a darker CW show than the DC comic ones. It takes place in a town called Riverdale and there's a lot of these children that it takes place and follows around like high school children, and season 1 basically follows around where like one of the students goes missing and I don't know, I guess they kind of try to solve the mystery, but it's not really quite like that, but it just kind of follows a lot of different groups. It stars Cole Sprouse, which is really cool. I don't want to give too much away, but it's a really interesting show and it's kind of like a murder mystery. Number 2 on the list is a movie. It's called Coco. This is something that I watched in the beginning of this year. If you guys haven't heard of it already, it came out on Thanksgiving, I think, back in November, but I finally got around to it this month. And it's another Pixar animated film, and this one is about a little boy, Miguel. It follows a little boy, Miguel, and it kind of follows the culture of Dia de los Muertos, and he is from a family that's super against music because his great-grandma had a husband who was a musician who left, and it kind of follows his adventures where on Dia de los Muertos he ends up in the land of the dead, and he kind of meets his family and just tries to find himself and learn about his family. It's got a lot of great songs and it's so beautiful of a movie because I believe the animation took 7 years to do because there was just so many different layers and it was all hand done, so it's a very, very gorgeous movie. If you can watch it in theaters, definitely try to catch it, but I'm sure it would look great at home as well. My third favorite is actually a phone app. It's called Stampede and it's a game that, do you guys remember the game Temple Run, where you kind of guide this little guy through castle paths and you collect coins and you jump over obstacles? This is kind of like that, but you're in either a prairie or a field or forest, and you ride different animals and you hop from one animal to the next by letting go of your finger, and it's just so much fun and super addicting to play. Victor's the one that showed me this game, and at first I thought it was so stupid, and then I downloaded it and I literally stopped texting people back because I was trying to play the game. Fourth on the list is a facial cleanser. This is the Kiehl's Calendula Deep Cleansing Foaming Face Wash. This my cousin actually was using back when I went to London, and I loved it so much that I bought one for myself because I bought it for her on my way to London because I was in duty free, and she was like, oh, these are the things you need to pick up. And then I tried it while I was staying with her, and it's so fun because it's a gel cleanser that foams really, really well. Because I find that a lot of gel cleansers, they still become that see-through gel material when you're rubbing it over your face, which is fine, but I feel in my mind, if it's not going to foam up, it's not really cleaning my face. And I know that's super false, but that's just a mental barrier thing that I can't get over. So if soaps foam up, it automatically feels like it's cleaning my face more. So that's why I really like this. But aside from all of that, it's actually really good and gentle on your skin, and Kiehl's is quite a natural-ish brand and it's cruelty-free, I believe. I think their parent company isn't. And my fifth and final favorite of the month is my Kindle. I have finally been converted into reading ebooks. For the longest time, I was a hardcore paper book girl because I like the feel of the pages, I like the smell of the book. I don't write in my books, but I just still like the feel of flipping through the pages. But when I started to commute to work and I'd bring a paper book, I'd be standing on a crowded subway and one hand would be holding a pole and the other hand would be trying to hold the book open and then flip the pages with one hand, and it just got so hard where I stopped reading on the subway. But then when I went home, I took my dad's Kindle and I downloaded a book on here and I started reading again. And the book I downloaded was called Ready Player One, and I guess that's my book favorite of the month. That said, it's the only book that I've completely finished this month. But Ready Player One, it takes place in a dystopian future. Actually, it's not quite the future anymore because I think it takes place in 2017, but it takes place in a dystopian world, and I love dystopian world books, but this one is where virtual reality has basically taken over the world, where everybody has this console and you can enter a world called Oasis. Halliday, I believe believe, is the guy who invented Oasis, and he basically dies without an error. And this isn't spoilers, by the way, this is just, it happens in chapter 1. And he basically dies and leaves behind his entire fortune as kind of like an Easter egg hunt within the video game Oasis. So all the people who have virtual reality have their little avatars, and they try to complete all these quests and like crack the riddles in order to try to get the money. But out in the real world, there's been like a huge earth energy crisis, so people are starving and like houses are burning down, and like the earth is quite a miserable place to live, which is why a lot of people seek kind of like refuge almost in virtual reality. So it's a really, really interesting read, and it's definitely action filled, and it's kind of keeps you going. All right, that is all the favorites I have for you guys this month. There hasn't really been a vlog for January because I just kind of took a break from vlogging since I did like every day in December, and I just wanted to focus on some other different kinds of videos. And then I will see you guys next Wednesday for another episode of Daily Dose of. Bye bye bye!